Hello, 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 and welcome back to the SEO Mastery Summit. And this time around, I'm joined by Daniel Nguyen. Welcome, Daniel.
Hey, thanks, Matt, and thank you for inviting me for to your event to SEO Mastery Summit. And I just a quick introduction. My name is Daniel Nguyen. Just call me Daniel. In short, I'm sure my last name is quite difficult to pronounce. Uh, uh, I am the CEO and founder and co-founder of WriterZen, one of the SaaS tool which we've been developing, focusing on solving problems for SEO and content writer in the 21st century, really. Well, we've been in, so just a quick introduction on my background, our team background. So we've been working as an SEO agency for almost 10 years before we start switching to building SaaS. And were able to grow from a team of 3 members to 40 people in about 3 years. And we've been working with clients in all sort of size and complexity and all that stuff. And we also are fortunate enough to work with multiple different kind of tools, from big, large, data driven, very complex, to simple, focus, solving single problems sort of tools. And what we came to realization after a long period of time working as agency is that there are many SEO tools right now in the market, but there's not many tools that actually help targeting directly the needs of the content writer, particularly in the 21st century, which is content now become more and more important than ever. And we think that there's a market gap in which we could really help fit in there. Second thing is most tools are quite data driven when it comes to SEO tool, and it's very hard to learn. Actually, it requires you to have a sort of a learning curve in order to really utilize the tool. A lot of the big tool out there, you may find yourself once you buy them, probably you only utilize up to about 10% of what it actually could offer, and you'll pay up to, I mean, 100 and $150 for those tools, only for maybe one or two function. So we realize that there's a gap too, right? The third is there's no tools that build with a sort of complete workflow from research, planning, and then execution, and then publish, right? So there's tools for each of the stage, but there's not many tools that sort of cover all in a very simple, direct, and easy to use form. So if there is one, it's more expensive than the others, right? So our goal was, when we faced with all those problems as we were doing and working as agency, and we decided that, you know what, I think we could probably build a tool and solve these problems, right? So we decided to build WriterZen. We actually start building first for our Vietnam market first, domestic market. So the first version we built only for Vietnam market, and after about 2 years of doing it, we were actually able to capture a market size up to 10,000 users, active users, and still growing. And with all those feedbacks, we were able to kind of gathers all the feedbacks and data and suggestions together, and eventually come up with WriterZen, which is our international products, in which I will go a little bit more into after this. And really thank you, Matt, for having sharing with me this opportunity so I could share with more users on our products. Um,
Definitely.
yeah,
I would
so
also just add in that I've had the pleasure of using WriterZen for a few months, and both me and my team love it a lot. So it's a
great.
little bit different from both Ahrefs and SEMrush and so on, right? But it's definitely, I think, for new people coming into SEO, it's easier to use, which I think is one thing, but also there's a lot of functionality in there. It's basically combining the functionality of many tools that you would otherwise have separate into one tool, which I think is great. We've become big fans of general keyword clustering and using keyword clustering tools, for example, and normally with most keyword clustering tools, you need to export data from SEMrush or Ahrefs or something, and then import it into keyword clustering tools. Whereas with WriterZen as example, it's all built into the same thing. So you can literally do the keyword research and the clustering within the same tool without having to import and export and all this stuff.
Moving
Obviously,
between.
you
Yeah.
can still do that. Like you can still import stuff and so on if you like, but it's basically much more sort of all encompassed, if you will, and that's definitely something my team have liked a lot.
Thanks, Matt. Okay, so let me drive back a little bit on the philosophy behind us building WriterZen. So when we first start develop WriterZen, the biggest questions we want to ask is what kind of pain points we are trying to solve for our users, right? And there's after a long time working in SEO, there's three main pain points, and we think that we could really add values to our users. The first is writer blocks, right? I mean, I'm sure all of you guys, when you start as content writer and you face with these problems, you may have been able to research your keywords. You may have been able to already find out what keywords you want to focus or target on, or you already have a seed keyword in which you start placing it. But once you have a seed keyword, you are not sure actually on your own what are the topics in which you should pick to write surrounding that keyword to build a very strong topic cluster, right? And to show Google that you are the expert in the seed keyword in which you targeted. So this is the it's not like typical people writers or writers block, right? When they talk about their own writer block, it's more of a creative process. They don't know, oh crap, I don't know what keyword I don't know what topic I should write about next that will capture people, right? But for SEO, writer's block is simply you don't know which topic that would return the most efficiently for your SEO strategy, right? And also is the most relevant to your overall knowledge graph you're trying to build. So that's the first problems that we think that we could solve. So the second problem is the research takes a lot of time, effort, yet a lot of time is still ineffective, right? So when you do keyword research, you know that there's a lot of things you have to really focus on. The first is what are your seed keyword? What are the database of keyword that you get from? Are they good? Are they reliable? Do they return the kind of quality data you are expecting? Um, do you have any kind of strategy to find, filter, and get all the long tail keyword that you're looking for? And then are these long tail keyword a good keyword to focus and target on to build your keyword strategy? And the last question would be how do you cluster them together in the most sort of like time efficient and effective way, like Mats was mentioned earlier. So I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this new concept of keyword clustering. So that is also built in our tool. So all of those things, I think that WriterZen and I think our team was able to solve. And the third is the ability to balance between writing for bots, Google bots, and writing for human. So we all know that when you do SEO, your goal is not only to try to rank for the keyword, you also want to maintain that rank, right? And if when you try to rank for certain keywords, so the first is you have to pick the right keyword, and then you have to write a very good piece of article, and then you have to optimize that piece of article so that when Google come in, they realize, okay, this article are very much well optimized in on page, off page, whatever it is, so that I will put it into rank. And once it's into rank, then you want to make sure that that piece of article is being written with a very high is at the highest quality so that the users when they come in they read that articles, they find it's useful, and they will stay on your website long enough to tell Google that, hey, this piece of article is very much of quality to me, and so you should really place this article on top of the ranking. So writing not only for Google bots, but also you have to make sure you have to write a quality piece of writing for human. So those are the three biggest, I think, pain point in which a lot of our users have faced over the years of us doing SEO. And so we decided to develop WriterZen to solve exactly and focus purely on those three pain points, right? So I mean, fortunately, when we started out launching for international market around, I think in June. We started in June. That's the first time we launched, and we launched through this platform called AppSumo. Uh, we after 2 months, we fortunately we were able to become one of the most successful marketplace launch in the history of AppSumo with 4,000 plus users, paid users, in just a short period of time of 2 months. So very different from Select. If you know AppSumo, you'll know there's different between Select and Marketplace. So for Marketplace, that's a remarkable sort of achievement. So coming into the first launch, honestly, our whole team was not expecting much, and we don't know how perceptive people are with our methodology and the way we build product. But after the launch, we really come out with that with a lot of confidence, knowing that we are definitely are able to deliver exactly the kind of values we planned for in the first place. Um, to our users, right? Not only we are able to achieve 4,000 users, we actually gotten 300 plus 5-star reviews from our actual users across all independent review platform from G2, Capterra, and Trustpilot. I think that's I really thankful to our whole team, that are able to help us to achieve such crazy achievement in such a short time. So again, today, because of those things, today I think that we are more confident than ever to introduce with you WriterZen, the tool that I really think that could add values and probably will provide a lot of solution for whatever tool set that you already have. So I guess I will probably share the screen, and we can start with some of our functionality.
Yep. Sounds good, Tom.
Quickly share the screen here.
And you can just go ahead. It looks
It's
good.
live. Okay. All right. So this is our dashboard. We actually have 4 different tools for you to use. So the first tools we call is topic discovery. So topic discovery essentially is the tool that we build to solve your first pain point, which is to solve your SEO writer's block, right? The I will go a little bit more details once we get more into it. The second tool is content creator. It's the kind of tool that helps you to not only research your competitor, but to start forming an outlines for your writing, for your content writing, and gathering research and integrate directly with Google NLP to figure out what entities you want to include into your writing, and also include all the list of the research you need for you to draft that perfect content piece that could rank. The third tool is Keyword Explorer. So Keyword Explorer essentially is the keyword research tool. And with this keyword research tool, we pull data directly from Google Keyword Planner database, also Google Keyword Suggest. And on top of that, we built in algorithm we call Deep Scan. And this algorithm allow us to return with for you a vast amount of database of keywords, yet maintaining its high quality. So I'll show you in just a little bit how uh, we pull those data and present with you the kind of data that could, basically showed on the tool. The fourth is a plagiarism checker tool. This one is also built in the content creator so that you can actually after writing your piece or after working with your freelancer, when they finish writing your piece, you could actually check on the uniqueness of your content and the originality of it, to ensure that when you post it on publish it on Google and index it, there's nothing will happen. And the last one is keyword importer. So keyword importer essentially is the function where you could, when you do research keyword from other tools like Ahrefs, SEMrush, or anywhere else, and you like to use the function of keyword cluster or looking for golden keyword ratio, which is the kind of function where I'll share with you a little bit, you could import into this tool and actually make use of it. So essentially, the tool set include 5 different tools. And now I will go in more details each of the tool. The first tool is topic discovery. So the way we build topic discovery is what when you talk about SEO writer's block, right? You talk about when you have a seed keyword and you want to identify what are the related topics that surrounding that seed keyword that are recognized by Google. Meaning what? Meaning that let's say you have a seed keyword of I don't know, indoor plants, right? Let's say indoor plants for United States. So you have a main seed keyword which is indoor plants, and you want to know there's a when you search indoor plants on Google, there's hundred of other websites which we call competitors that are running, that are aiming for the same keywords, and all of this will have an articles in within their website that write about their knowledge of indoor plants. And in that article, usually they will actually include a bunch of other topics that related to indoor plants, that to in Google's eyes, those are the subtopic that are very much related to your main topic, that formed by your competitor and that recognized by Google's bot, right? So as you can see here, if you look for indoor plant, this is not like a keyword tool. But the way we do it is that we actually scan through 100 top URLs that rank for the keyword indoor plants. We go through all of their content, and then we look for what are the subtopics that other competitors are actually writing about indoor plants, and we list out to you the headlines they use for that subtopic, so that you could actually from here build and form a topic cluster surrounding indoor plants. Let's say you have indoor plants. You can see that in our tool, it will return subtopics such as leaf plants, indoor plant poisonous. So a lot meaning that there's a lot of other competitors are writing about the poisonous level of indoor plants, meaning that there are users who concerns about this topic. Indoor plant arrangements, right? The arrangements of how you can arrange indoor plants so that it looks good. Um, Indoor plant, indoor bedroom decoration factory, unhealthy, uh, light guide, ultimate indoor plant light guide for house plants. So meaning that there's a subtopic regarding how you can set your lighting surrounding your indoor plant to make the most out of the way it's structured, right? Post pots Amazon, so people looking for pots planter, air purifier here, meaning that they are looking for air purifying plants. So you see, when you search for the keyword term indoor plants, you suddenly and in just an instant have a very good picture of all of the subtopic in which Google recognizes as the knowledge graph in which you other competitor are talking about. So you actually never have to deal with writer's block anymore when you look at this. So if you click on any of these subtopic, let's say indoor plant unhealthy, we'll show you what are the top headlines that talk about this subtopic. And if you click on the link, you'll be able to direct to exactly that subtopic, and you can actually see how your competitors are writing about this subtopic, right? And we measure them by the relevancy of these headlines relatively compared to the subtopic you're looking at. And at the bottom, there's your related Google search. And in here is Google Suggest Insight, which are all of the Google suggests when it comes to indoor plants keyword, right? We break them down in different category like question, preposition, and comparisons, right? So due to the shortness of the presentation, I won't go so in depth of how you can utilize this, but it's a great tool for you to break the writer's block uh, during your SEO research process, right? Over here, you can actually add, if you like any of the headlines, you can add them into your personal list and save them. We have a keyword list things here, and save them for later use. So anyway, those are the that is the purpose and basically a simple and sample outlook of topic discovery and how it will solve your writer's block problems, right? So let's move into the next tool. I'll go directly to Google Explorer first, a Keyword Explorer first before I get into Content Creator. So Keyword Explorer, like I said earlier, first of all, we derive all the source of data directly from Google database. Why? We think that that is the most relevant database needed for your SEO work. Where else do you need data but directly from Google, right? So and also we try to expand that database not only by Google Keyword Planner, but we also use Google Suggest, Keyword Suggest database, and we'll do this thing called deep scan, in which we rescanning multiple layers of each time when we pull the data over to make sure that in one keyword, we'll be able to pull out as much data as possible. So let's take a look at the keyword garden tools over here. Right, as you can see, this single keyword garden tools, our tool return to you 4,012 keywords, right? And this break down into three different category: phrase match, having same term, and also search for, right? And so over here, I actually want to focus on one key, two key function, right? Since due to the time constraint, two key function in which I believe that really make your life as content writer and SEO so much easier, right? Two things in which I found that take the most amount and it takes the most manual work. That the first is looking for, how do you look for long tail keyword, right? And the way we look for long tail keyword, in which I already did a presentation on this earlier, and share with you generally how do you look for long tail and why you need to look for long tail keyword, and how, what is the best way for you to utilize our tool to look for those long tail keyword. So the way we build is we use this function, we use this search operator called O in title. So O in title is essentially is a kind of data returned to you and telling you that for each of these keyword, how many title in the top 10, or how many title of other websites that contain these keywords in that title, right? If it's generally with a long tail keyword, and if you have that keyword contained in the title, there's a very good chance that you can rank. And if there's so many keyword, there's so many title that contain the keyword, there's a good chance that it's very high competitiveness. So you can't really rank easily. Like for example, the keyword garden tools, there's a 1 million own title, meaning that there's 1 million title ranking out there that contain this keyword or garden tools, right? Yet for keyword like garden tool at Home Depot, there's zero, right? Because nobody tried to SEO this keyword that contain Home Depot as a brand. So no website out there are SEO for this keyword, meaning that there's no title that contain this whole phrase into that, right? So during our agency work, we realized that this is a very effective way to look for long tail keyword, but there's no way for us to check in a in a list thousand with thousand of different keywords. So what we did is we developed our own tool, and we are probably the first tool out there in the market that offer you bulk own title check, meaning that you can check own title with thousand different keywords. So over here, if you have 4,000 different keyword and all of them already checked in own title, you now will be able to sort which keyword that has low own title and which keyword has high own title for you to avoid. But that's not enough yet. We have to build on top of this a kind of algorithm to define what keyword that will have value, because you see we run into problems where keyword that has a ratio between ON title and search volume, right? So keyword that have low ON title but also really low search volume, you don't really like that keyword either. For example, if the ON title is 0 but the search volume is 10, so there's no need for you to build a, a whole piece of content surrounding that keyword if you all you get the search volume is 10, right? So but there's if there's own title at 10, yet the search volume go up to about 300, now that is the good keyword. So the keyword that has even higher own title still have higher value than the keyword that has low own title due to the search volume differences, right? So we have to build our own sort of calculation algorithm. We call it KGR. For now, we are changing this in the new update, which coming next week. We call it golden score, right? So over here, you can see that we break them into three class ratio. The top is top value keyword, and medium value keyword, and high comparative keyword. So if you look at this, and if I just do simple ranking, min max 30 here, this is all the high value keyword. You will then see a bunch of different keywords that have low ON title, yet it's very good volume. So you can actually sort a little bit by volume here, excuse me. Flower bed wedger, there's volume is 18,000, yet ON title is only 38. This is a great keyword. So you know that, oh, there's only 38 people include this term flower bed wedger in their title. So you only need to compete with that 38 guys. So if you write a really good piece of article, your website is well optimized, everything else is great, your backlinks game is good. If you write a good piece of content on this, there's a high chance that you will be able to rank for this keyword. So you see, it's very fast, it's very powerful, yet it's super easy, simple, and easy to use, right? You can also search all in title over here and just do a good filtering, and you will see all of this keyword that has all in title less than 10, meaning that if you build a piece of content that, let's say, this keyword, tractor supply lawnmower battery, if you write a piece of article that have title contain this keyword, you very likely will be in top 10, and it has search volume of 1006. It's great. It's an amazing keyword. Our own keyword difficulty measurement says 26 over 600. That's a great keyword. That's a very good keyword. So you see, it's very quick for you to find the long tail keyword. And this work used to be in the past take us hours and hours of research, and also hours of training manually our workers to help us to do this. So that's the first function in which I want to highlight. There's so many more over here, but please go in and we have a free try, explore for yourself. The second function is cluster. As you see, keyword clustering is the same as any other tools that does cluster now. So the function that we have is essentially, let's see here, I did a cluster. So the function here, the way we build is similar to many tools in the market now, and which is really, I believe, is one of the coolest and the best way to do cluster. And keyword clustering, it has been a pain for a long time in the past, right? Before, when you do keyword clustering, you have to kind of define a certain rules, and you have to train your workers, and everyone have to learn to go and through a list of thousands of different keywords and pick out which keyword. You have to do a lot of filtering, pick out keywords that have similar terms. But those are days of the past. So the way we do ours is we will scan through each of the keyword, and we'll look for the SERP's position on each of the keywords, and we'll compare those together. And for any keywords that have SERP position that have similarity to each other, that means these keywords in Google's eyes are carry the same meaning and should target the same group of users and search intent. So that's exactly how we did it. We see there's a list of keyword here with 114 keywords. These are all very good low O entitle keyword. I did a cluster, and then these are groups of different cluster you can use as the article name. There's some very good, like for example, gardening wagons low. Well, this is low. This is for lows. Gardening pants woman. Gardening. Let's see, what would be a square foot gardening piece. So over here you can actually look. There's two different keyword that has different forming, but it's carry exactly the same meaning. So all this was done in just a click on your website, right? So with that, with that built in, essentially, the two most manual intensive works in the past in your SEO workflow are now being solved with just two click, right? So those are the two functions in which we are very proud of and introduced to you, and I'm sure we can add great values. Please try, because so many people who have used our tool in the past have kind of swear by it. We have so many successful case study that are able to look for this amazing long tail keyword and rank and get organic traffic and convert them to sales, right? And also, since from here we also build in this keyword list function, where you could select different keyword of your liking, and you add them into your own keyword list, and you contain them here. So just a quick overview. I mean, our tool is quite actually now is getting a lot more complex. So you can actually save several different keyword lists depending on what project are you working on. And before, you would have to export to Excel, to save them in different files. But now you don't have to do that. You can do all of that here. And on that keyword list, you have all the filter built in. You can export them out. You can delete them. You can add on more keywords if you like. So a lot of things you can do with this tool. So that's Keyword Explorer. Let me check my timing real quick. All right. So, and now we go to Content Creator. Content creator, essentially, I mean, again, oh, sorry, come back to Keyword Explorer. Um, Keyword Explorer is a tool we set out to help you solve that research process that is used to be so tedious in the past, right? But now we believe that we brought them into become very easy, simple, yet quite highly effective. I truly believe. So now it's content creator. So for content creator, what is content creator? So content creator essentially is the tool in which we build for you to draft the content, right? There's a lot of tools now similar to ours in the market at the moment that exactly is kind of like our content creator. The first step is we scan the top 20 URLs uh, of your website, of your seed keyword. So let's take a look. Also, we start out with a project management dashboard where you can create different projects, and in each project you can develop different articles. You can add articles here. So I created an article earlier, and it called "Indoor Plant does not need sunlight." So there's a few things different from of our tool compared to others. The first is when you develop an article, we let you put in your seed keyword. We let you put in your writer's name. So in case you're working with a freelancer and you want to keep track of how they're doing, we let you set up priority of that article. It maybe it's a very high priority, or it's medium or high, and you can set the deadline for it as well, right? You can leave note to your writer, and the note will appear in the text editor part. And the last and final, and which is extremely important, and this is exactly what we try to solve, is to satisfy Google bots the moment they scan your index content. And we're using Google NLP API, right? Google NLP API essentially is the kind of tool, and finally Google released this, right? For a long time, we don't have these tools. Essentially, it's Google's, um, it provides you with data like entities, sentiments, and entity sentiments. So when Google's bots scan through a certain content, they will look for different entities, and from these entities, they build this thing called knowledge graph, and they will figure out that who is this article for, what are these article talk about, what are the different concepts that this article are trying to say and trying to conclude in that content. This is Google's way to identify the sentiment of the article, and also the kind of context and meaning behind the content in which the user is trying to write. So you see a lot of time if you search a term like Apple, right? Oops, sorry, Apple. You search simply Apple. The first website go up is actually apple.com, and that is a brand and a company, and it's not an apple as a fruit, right? So in Google's database and Google NLP, what they analyze is Apple will go with entity like MacBook, Steve Jobs. Over here, you can see, Tim Cook, uh, uh, technology, and all of that stuff before it go with other entity. But if you look for Apple and you put it there, if you put that two word together, Google will right away analyze and figure out with it as an entity, the person who searched for apple are now looking for the apple as the fruit. So it is one of the entity that relate directly with the knowledge graph of Apple. So that exactly is the way Google has been progressing over the past, I think, 10 years since Hummingbird came out in 2013 and Bird come out in 2019, are just really focusing on highlighting this processing power. And so similar to that, we add on that Google NLP API into our tool to help our users when they draft a content piece. Not only they know what other competitors are trying to write about, but they also know what Google are trying to, when they scan through, what Google are returning as a result of their scan. All right. So if you turn this on, it will take you a 3 credit AI credit. So you can find out more on our website. So anyway, I already start an article. It's called "Indoor Plant Does Not Need Sunlight." So let's say this is the article I try to write. So I click on it. So the way we build it is that we break this process into 3 steps. So unlike many other tools, we want to make sure when we build a certain products, we want every users when they go in, they will be able to focus on each step wholeheartedly with all their focus and get it done really well. So I would like to use meaning what? Meanings that using all of this the research and data presented here, please build a great outline so that this outline can be used when you start writing the article, right? So the first step is we bring out here comparative analysis. And on comparative analysis, there's 2 highly noticeable things. The first is the percentage of content on the first page of Google that are article. So we run an algorithm to basically try to scan through all of the top 10 and see how many article on it are now an article, a website that rank an article, because being having it an article means that you have a higher chance to rank on top, right? And the second thing is, because I already turned on the Google NLP, we will show you an insight in which we show you what are the general sentiment of all top 20 competitors that are ranking for this website. So you see here, the general sentiment is actually neutral. So there's more neutral article talking about indoor plant does not need sunlight than article that are positive. So our suggestion typically is you should write your article in a neutral sentiment, which follow the general sentiment that are being ranked on the top, right? That's the second thing. So when you go into this board, now you could actually look at each of this website. And the way we did it is that we will draw out for you the outline of, of this article in H2, H3, H1, and all the term in between. And these are summarization of the content inside. Actually, did you see? So bold and bursting pink azalea plant. And so we will summarize using our own NLP technology, and we'll show you some of the key points that support this H2 paragraph. This plant does best in direct sunlight, partial shade for even growing. Rotate your azalea once a week. So things like that. And also we have this ability for you to add on your outlines here. So on this part, this is where you plan the content structure and also you build your outline. So for title, you could actually look for title that you like here and you click on it. Oops, here you can write your title. Indoor plant does need sunlight. 12 indoor plants, something like that, right? For description, you could actually hover here, copy and paste, and then you just kind of fix on that. For body here, you could start building your outlines just from here. You can also add your own line. You can delete anytime. You can move them between. So H2, you could actually make them into H3 or H4, or you can make a certain point into a list under certain things. So a lot of customization that put into here. So for each of this, not only we provide you with the option to summarization, you could actually click here and get into the website on this directly from here, or you can simply click on quick view option, and right away we will actually draw out the way they build the website directly on here. And if you like any term, you could just copy and paste and put it on your outlines. So first step, build really great outlines. So that's our focus. Over down here, we have a suggest insights, meaning that these are all the piece of people also asked, topic people discuss, and then some other topics that was on Reddit, right? So you can use any of this if you like to add on to your outlines. So once you're done with the outlines, usually generally this process take about 15, 20 minutes. And if you really need to take more, it's take really half an hour for you to really build a great outline. But my suggestion always build a great outline first. Then the good content will come later, because once you have a great outline, it's a lot easier for you to write good content, right? So next step is keyword to include. This is will break down into, these are all the keywords that we suggest you to include in your content. How do we calculate this? So we calculate this based on 3 things. So the first is competitor keywords. Competitor keywords are all the keywords we use our own NLP algorithm to scan through the top 20 competitors And we look for keywords that have high resemblance, meaning that they repeat and use a lot. General usage of them are being used a lot within other contents. You can see the way they use it here, or the example. And also the relevancy of that keyword relatively compared to your main keyword here. So we did some measurement algorithm to make sure that there's a distance between keyword, blah blah blah. So they're all for in order for us to pick out keyword that, for one, it has to have meaning, right? A lot of tools out there that actually suggest you a bunch of different keywords that actually not have meaning, like tool or there, that you won't find none of that here. All of our keyword suggested will have meaning, and they will actually have search volume. So that's a filter we build in to make sure that all the keyword that we suggest are highly quality keyword. And we actually pre-suggest for you a list of keyword here in which we believe those are good keyword for you to have. The second keyword are actually using directly from Google database keyword. And that is, these are all the keyword that we think that are related to your main keyword that you can add on. And we call them opportunities keyword. So these are some of the keyword that maybe your competitor don't even have those on yet, right? You can, and then the last one is Google NLP entities. So this is where we show you all of the entities where Google bots come into the top 20 competitor, and they scan and they bring out these are entities, right? These are not keywords. Entity are what guiding Google, defining the context of that and meaning of the content. And we highly suggest you really want to build a good map of entity in your content, so that the moment Google bots come in, they understand it clearly right away what you're trying to talk to them, right? And here we also build in salience point. Salience point essentially is Google scoring system, and to tell you how much this keyword, how 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 do you say this? Uh, how effective this keyword relatively, um, how important this keyword relatively compared to the overall content of the ranking, right? So meaning that these keyword are actually have a higher salience point, meaning that this keyword contribute very highly into how Google view the overall content of that piece, the meaning of the piece, right? We have two views here. One is subs view and one is total entity. Subs view is for your reference. If you click on here, and we'll show you all the entities of this particular piece of content, right? And sentiment of it here. We also pre-select for you some of the entity in which we believe that you should have in your content. Over here, you can also add your own word. You can also, over here is the amount of time to repeat. And you can import from your own keyword list, right? So these are keyword to include, and that's how you could plan those. And now save and copy in writing. And this is essentially is just a text editor of ours, right? A few things I just want to highlight very quickly before I think going over the time here. Oh, I think we're good. So for content writing, right? The first thing you notice here is on the right side, we have a scoring system, right? And over here, we'll score on the amount of keywords you should have, the amount of headings you should have, the paragraphs you should have, the amount of image you should have, and also how many times do you actually include enough for all the keyword that you set out, right? You already have this keyword about here. You can literally see your outlines that lay out here. You can just click copy to editor, and it will actually automatically have it on here for you to start writing, building onto the outlines which you already built. Over here, there's a tab called competitor. And if you click on competitor, there's a top. These are all the top 20 keyword, top 20 website that rank for your keyword. So you can click on explore. And from explore, you'll see all of the outlines that are also being in here. And for each of these outline, if you find that it's helpful for your content, you can just click on copy, and it will right away appear here for your writing, right? Super easy to use. You can move them back and forth between next page over here. You can expand if you don't like, or you can kind of shrink them down to see the outlines, right? And then questions, which we list out. People also ask questions and read it. So essentially, it's a quick view of research center for you to see. If you you want to highly focus on your writing and you don't want anything to distract you, there's the the feature called full screen. And if you click on full screen, you can turn off assistant. And here it is, everything for you to just start drafting your content. No string attached, no sort of like no distraction whatsoever of the things you need to see. Anytime you want to see, you can turn it on and you see like what how you are doing with your scoring and keyword and all that stuff. We also have analysis on some of the SEO improvements that you can have. So it's all shown here, right? And also another part of this is we have things called share link on share create share link. So if you click on it, you can actually share this with your freelancer. And over there, you could actually allow your users to see your competitor or related question. These are the tools here. If you allow, then you just need to click on this, and you also whether or not you want to allow them to check plagiarism, because if we want them to check, the credit will actually deduct on your account. So you just turn this on and you copy and you send it to your freelancer, and that's it. Your freelancer just work on your content, and because you want to protect your originality and you want to make sure your content is maintain its uniqueness, you want to take down some of the other part, right? And also over here, we also build in a plagiarism checker function. If you click on it, we will actually live check on your content here, whether or not it is plagiarized, right? And we'll bring out maybe like a sort of a, or we call it a quick report. And from quick report, you could actually see it from this part, and you can fix it right onto this content for your using, right? This is a full scale text editor. You can do almost everything with with a tool here. All right. So over here, the report is done. Plagiarize sentence 12, quick view report. You click on it, and here's all the sentence that are plagiarized. Right. Very expected. If you click on each of this, we will show you the source where that come from. Right. So very easy to use, very easy to see. So you could actually directly change it from here. Once you're done with all the change, you can click on check again, and that's it. Super easy. So yeah, so those are the three main tools that we offer in our content creator in WriterZen. And we really believe with content creator, um, we we definitely help our users to find that good balance between writing for Google bots and for the users, while maintaining the highest level of content quality, and not only have you to rank, but also to maintain that rank, right? So with that, we also, this is plagiarism checker, very simple, just copy paste it in. It's just like any other plagiarism checker out there. We have a very generous amount of keyword actually for you. For example, for my account here is 70,000 keyword per day, right? And then keyword importer. I think is once you get in, it's quite simple to use. In each of these two, we also build in all the how-to tutorial videos that you can click on and watch and see and make the best out of it. So yeah, so essentially that's WriterZen. So in conclusion, right? When we get on building WriterZen, here's the look of our website, right? Our website is writerzen.net. So when we set out to build this tool, we have a few things in mind, in which is built in depth in our DNA of product development. So the first is we have to build by people with deep SEO knowledge and experience. So everything that we build draw directly from our experience of doing SEO over the past 10 years. So from our experience, we know what pain point and what works and what doesn't, right? And the second thing is we want to focus only on the most important data and feature that could make huge impact. We don't try to show you as many different data as possible, right? I mean, we can pull out backlinks report, we can pull down Ahrefs data, you can pull so many other things. But we really believe that having more data doesn't mean that you will be able to build quality SEO strategy, right? Focusing on high impact quality data will actually help you to break down all those noises and focus only on what matters. The third thing is we build a product that helped you scale, right? You will be able to work with more freelancer, work with your team members, where you will be able to work with multiple different projects at once. You will be able to save so many different keyword lists on different projects, and you can work all of them in just single platform. Just in WriterZen, you'll be able to do that. You don't have to switch between different tools. Like before, you would have to go out, export them out to Excel, filter them, select them, save them somewhere, and then come back to different tools, right? And fourth, which is the final point, is to deliver value to as many people as possible by offering a pretty low price starting price. So with all of that packed into one single platform, our pricing is $41 for our standard, and you could actually get start. Let's turn on monthly. You can actually start with just $39 per month, and you get to access all of the tool which I share above, right? All of those functions, right? This for standard, which is $59 a month. You can now ideal for small team working, which is still exceptionally reasonable for monthly price, right? And advanced, which is $99 a month. And right now, as a token of appreciation for Matt and also for his invitation for me to be able to give an opportunity for us to share, we run a discount programs where you get a coupon in which you can buy a yearly deal on our standard and advanced for 70% off. And this deal will only last until the end of this month. So if you do like what you see and you really love what we're doing as the team and the product, please come in and make the best use of it, right? I mean, this is probably one of a great deal that are being offered, right? 70% for our standard and advanced yearly deal, right? Um, okay, so that's that. I think I am done with my presentation. I hope we didn't go over time. I hope I cover most of what needed, and that at least you guys have a good sort of a good picture of what WriterZen is. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Daniel. That was very in-depth for sure. So thank you very much for sharing all that. And as I mentioned in the beginning, I mean, I've had the pleasure of using the tool with my team, and we definitely like a lot of it so far. So very good. I have a bunch of questions here from people. So James is asking, I have a virtual assistant who have decent writing skills, but she's slow to writing her articles. Could WriterZen improve the speed of content output from my virtual assistant? So do you feel currently that in terms of the writing speed and so on, that's something that WriterZen helps with?
I think the way we build our tool is focused exactly to solve that problems, right? And that's also the reason why we break that process now into three different parts, right? And we try to automate the most difficult part for you guys, right? For example, if you're a planner and you have a virtual assistant who writes stuff for you, which I would consider as a freelance writer, right? So you start out with the first step, which to build the outline. So I think only you will know what's your requirements in terms of what you want to put onto your outlines. So if you look at the way we build, we will give you all of the research materials, right? And the way you could optimize that, you click on it and then you build your own really nice to use outlines. And as the when you build them more, the more details you can build your outlines, the better it is for your content writer, right? So once they get in, they will know right away very clearly the guidelines in which they have to follow. First, these are the outlines, please follow. Second, these are the amount of keywords you need to get. These are the amount of paragraphs you should to have. And these are the keywords I would like for you to include into the tool, right? So this, I mean, it's all about processes. So if you break them down to different smaller steps and you make sure that each of those smaller steps are being done and communicated very clearly, I am sure, 100% sure that the output will be a lot faster because we already solved the biggest problem, which is communication, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense. So there's a question here from Summit. If you can add title quality analyzing, that would be a great addition. This will help to write great articles. So I'm not sure 100% what he means with title quality analyzing, but I guess maybe you could elaborate a bit on that summit. So it's not particularly a term I've heard before. Um, so yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure if I get that clear of what he means.
yeah,
Perhaps this title analysis is for perhaps that is for the first step in
yeah,
building the content outline. So not sure.
yeah. So then there's Nia saying quick view is really useful function. That's good.
Yeah.
Then we have Summit here saying now we do not have copy to editor. Not for me.
It is live. It is live in our tool. Once you get into the last step and you click on outlines, in the bottom of the outlines, there's the button called copy to editor. So
Right.
you could go in there. I mean, just a quick sort of like sharing is that we are launching our next update 2.9.0 next week. And in 2.9.0, there's some pretty amazing update, particularly on the topic of keyword research and particularly on golden keyword ratio. We have upgraded them completely and entirely, and also we add on some new function that really gonna help your keyword research process take down to about half a mile of time again, right? Just quick things, and we are also working on integrating with GPT-3, which is an AI writing bot that helps you to generate more content automatically from your backend. So that should come out within this year, hopefully, because we're trying to figure out ways to really generate um, data that super quality. Yep.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And the next question is, how does your plan work? I have a team with 3 virtual assistants, and normally with Hrefs and SEMrush, I need to buy very big plans to include multiple team members. How does your licenses work?
So right now we are offer only for solo users, but if you have a team member, you can actually use one single user sign in for all across 3 devices, right?
Right.
So our plan is to build in team member function next year, and will allow you to kind of just pay as you go. Basically, you want to add on as many team member onto your plan as you want to, right? And the pricing will be very reasonable, just like what we believe in terms of product development. So right now, if you like, just bind onto single, maybe like a single emails, and then you can share among the threes for you to do the work. But for you to work with freelancer, you don't need any of that. You just need to send the links over to your freelancer, they develop an account, and bam, that's it. You start working together on a piece of article.
Yeah, so basically, if it's content, they don't need additional licenses. The
No,
license is
zero,
more for the SEO
yeah. For
specific
every
people.
client, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And the next question here is, uh, so for WriterZen, for the keyword golden ratio, uh, how many of these can you search on a monthly basis?
Okay, so right now we count them as keyword credits because actually keyword all entitled and also clustering AI, a cluster the auto clustering function are the most computing. It take out the most computing exhaustion. What is it? Computing power from our end, right? And what we have to do is actually we have to manually run through every single keyword and search for every single keyword the data return. There's why I say our pricing extremely reasonable, because if you look at the two biggest competitor in the market right now, relatively with us that doing these two things, the first is clustering AI or Keyword Cupid, for example. I think their pricing is about 5 to 6 times, no, about 10 times, roughly more expensive than what we are offering right now for clustering function. And for all entitled, there's another company called allentitled.co, and their pricing offer is roughly about, I think, around 10 times or so more expensive than ours. And they only offer that one single tool, right? And they're more expensive than ours. So the way we did is that we count them as keyword credits. So let's say you are on our standard plan. Wait, let me share the screen again. So let's say you are on our standard plan, right? With $41, you get 75 keyword lookup per day, meaning that you could actually go on our keyword explorer and researching for 75 times a day, right? Extremely generous. I don't think anyone ever touched the limit yet. Keyword credits per month is 40,000. So meaning that each time you run through the scan, for example, just previously I did, that was 4,000 keywords, right? But you definitely don't need to do as many time like that, right? You could actually filter your keyword out, find out what what keyword list you actually really need to run on your scan, and then you then can click on scan, right? And also these keyword credits are also used for auto clustering. So one keyword data return equal to one credit, right? So for $41 a month, you have 40,000 keyword credits. For advanced $69 a month, you have 100,000 keyword credits. And if in the process of you running on your project, you run out of your keyword credits, we do offer also a top credit top up. So you can actually buy it separately. So for 20,000 keyword credits, it only costs you $19, right? And we have different package here. For $99, you have 150 different thousand credit. And over here, we also offer AI credit, which is what used for Google NLP analysis, right? So in here for standard, you will also have let's say NLP AI credit here. You have 30 NLP AI credit, which will help you optimize for 10 content article a month, right? And if you run out and you need so to buy more, you could always buy one-time credit top up. If you run out both and you want to use both, you can actually buy our combo package, in which, like for example, solo, and you save about 25%. 60 AI credit and 20,000 keyword credit, and it will cost you only $29. So and as you look at those, you may think, oh wow, there's so many different options and whatnot. But if you really pay attention and you can compare our price to any other tool in the market that offer similar package or similar function, our price is absolute. I could 100% confident say that we are the cheapest in the market. And I'm very confident with the way the data return and the kind of values that we can add to you and our users.
Excellent. Well, Daniel, I think we've just passed the hour, so thank you very, very much. That was a great presentation. I hope, I hope lots of people will check out the tool. As I said, our team have definitely loved trying it out. So,
Matt.
yeah,
Thank you,
awesome.
Matt. Thank you, Matt, for inviting me, and thanks you everyone for listening to our presentation. And I really hope that we could be able to work more together on future and for some future project. I've known Matt for a while, and I love his passion, his spirit, and also the work he's been doing and supporting kind of startup founders like myself and many other people. So thanks again, and I appreciate everyone who listened to this webinar. And yeah, talk to you guys soon.